Imagine a world without soap. No fresh scent after a long day. No protection from invisible germs. No simple way to wash away dirt, sweat, or disease. For thousands of years, humanity lived like this. And yet, from the ashes of ancient fires to the laboratories of modern science, one of the most essential inventions in human history slowly took shape. This is the story of soap, the accidental discovery. Our story begins over 5,000 years ago, in the cradle of civilization, ancient Mesopotamia. Back then, people didn't know anything about bacteria. There was no concept of hygiene as we understand it today. But they did notice something interesting. When animal fats mixed with ashes from burned wood, and then came into contact with water, a strange substance formed. It was slippery. It created foam. And most importantly, it cleaned. Historians believe that early civilizations like the Sumerians accidentally discovered this mixture while cooking or preparing sacrifices. Clay tablets from around 2800 BC describe a soap-like material made from animal fat and wood ash. At first, it wasn't used for bathing. Instead, it was used for cleaning wool and textiles, treating skin conditions, preparing materials for trade. Soap had quietly entered human history. The rise of cleanliness in ancient Egypt. Fast forward to ancient Egypt, around 1500 BC. Here, soap took on a more refined role. Egyptians were deeply concerned with cleanliness, not just physically, but spiritually. Cleanliness was connected to purity, health, and even the afterlife. Medical texts like the Ebers Papyrus describe mixtures of animal and vegetable oils, alkaline salts. These mixtures were used for washing and treating skin diseases. Egyptians bathed regularly, especially the wealthy. Priests were required to wash multiple times a day as part of religious rituals. Soap wasn't just a cleaning tool. It became a symbol of discipline, purity, and civilization. The Romans and the birth of soap. The word soap itself is believed to come from a Roman legend, Mount Sapo. According to the story, animal sacrifices were performed on this hill. Rain would wash down a mixture of melted fat and ashes into the nearby river. Women washing clothes in that river noticed something remarkable. Their clothes became cleaner, with less effort. Whether the story is myth or truth, one thing is certain. The Romans advanced soap making significantly. However, early Romans didn't use soap for bathing the way we do today. Instead, they used oils to coat their skin, tools called strigils to scrape off dirt. Soap was used more for cleaning fabrics and medicinal purposes. It wasn't until later in Roman history that soap began to be used for personal hygiene. The Dark Ages, soap survives. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Europe entered the Middle Ages, often called the Dark Ages. Public bathing declined. Hygiene practices weakened. But soap didn't disappear. Instead, it survived and even evolved in other parts of the world. The Islamic Golden Age. In the Middle East, particularly during the Islamic Golden Age, soap-making reached new levels of sophistication. Cities like Aleppo became famous for producing high-quality soap made from olive oil, laurel oil. This soap, known today as Aleppo soap, is one of the oldest continuously produced soaps in the world. Muslim scholars and chemists improved the soap-making process by refining ingredients, enhancing fragrance, standardizing production. Cleanliness was an important part of Islamic culture, especially for daily prayers. As a result, soap became widely used and respected. Europe reawakens. The soap industry begins. By the 12th and 13th centuries, soap-making returned to Europe. Major soap-producing centers emerged in Italy, Spain, France. In particular, the city of Marseille in France became famous for its high-quality soap made from pure olive oil. However, soap was still considered a luxury item. Only the wealthy could afford it. Kings and queens used scented soaps as a symbol of status and elegance. For the common people, bathing was still rare. The science revolution changes everything. The real transformation of soap began during the 17th and 18th centuries with the rise of science. Chemists started to understand the reaction behind soap making, what we now call saponification. This is the process where fats or oils react with an alkali to produce soap and glycerin. This scientific understanding allowed for better quality soap, consistent production, new types of soap. Then came a major breakthrough. The Industrial Revolution, soap for everyone. In the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution changed everything. Soap was no longer handmade in small batches. Factories began mass-producing it. Two key developments made this possible. 1. Affordable alkali production. A process developed by chemists made it cheaper to produce soda ash, a key ingredient in soap. 2. Public health awareness. Cities were becoming crowded. Diseases were spreading. Governments and scientists began promoting cleanliness to prevent illness. Soap was no longer a luxury. It became a necessity. By the late 1800s, doctors started to understand the role of germs in disease. The work of scientists like Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister proved that invisible microorganisms could cause infections. This changed everything. Washing hands with soap became one of the simplest and most powerful ways to prevent disease. Hospitals began using soap regularly. Public health campaigns encouraged people to wash their hands, bathe regularly, maintain personal hygiene. Soap became a lifesaver. The birth of modern soap brands. As demand grew, companies began to compete in the soap industry. Brands focused not just on cleaning, but also on fragrance, skincare, marketing. One of the most famous innovations was the creation of floating soap by Procter & Gamble. Their product, Ivory Soap, was marketed as 99.44% pure. This marked the beginning of modern advertising. Soap was no longer just a product. It became part of everyday lifestyle and identity. The rise of liquid soap and detergents. In the 20th century, soap continued to evolve. New forms appeared. Liquid soap, shower gels, synthetic detergents. During World War I and II, shortages of natural fats led to the development of synthetic alternatives. These products were more versatile, more effective in hard water, easier to produce. Liquid hand soap, introduced widely in the late 20th century, became a household essential. Soap in the modern world. Today, soap is everywhere. From luxury skincare brands to basic hygiene products, it's a part of daily life across the globe. But its importance goes far beyond comfort. Organizations like World Health Organization emphasize hand washing with soap as one of the most effective ways to prevent disease. During global health crises like COVID-19, soap became a frontline defense. A simple act, washing your hands, can stop the spread of viruses, protect communities, save lives. The science behind soap. So what makes soap so powerful? Soap molecules have a unique structure. One end attracts water. The other attracts oil and dirt. When you wash your hands, soap breaks down grease and traps germs, allowing them to be rinsed away. It doesn't just clean. It destroys harmful microorganisms. That's why soap is still one of the most effective tools in public health. The future of soap. Even after thousands of years, soap continues to evolve. Today, researchers are developing eco-friendly soaps, organic and chemical-free formulas, antibacterial and medicated products. There's also a growing focus on sustainability, reducing plastic waste and environmental impact. The future of soap isn't just about cleanliness. It's about health, innovation, and responsibility. A simple invention that changed the world. From ancient fires to modern science. From accidental discovery to global necessity. Soap has traveled a long journey. It may seem like a small, everyday object, but its impact is enormous. It has improved hygiene, prevented disease, saved millions of lives. And even today, something as simple as washing your hands can make a difference. So the next time you pick up a bar of soap, subscribe, like, comment, share.